for the cart is in the file called carttable.txt, so copy this code. In phpMyAdmin, click on the coffee shop database and then click the SQL tab. Paste the SQL code in here and then click on Go. This will create a new table called cart with these 4 fields. Open the file cart.php. At the top of the file where the line to include the header is, we're going to add some more PHP code. After the header, we need to include the file for the database connection. Then we need to get the session ID and store this in a variable called ID to identify the user. We need to define the quantity of items in the cart, which is set to a default of 1. Next, we need to get the action. This is passed in the URL from the previous page. Now we're going to use a switch statement to decide what action we're going to take depending on what the value of the action variable is. The first case is add, which will add a product to the cart. First thing we need to do is get the product ID of the product we want to add to the cart. This comes from the form that is submitted on the menu page. In the hidden field, we just call product ID. Then we need to write the SQL query to insert that product into the cart table. So we're going to use the insert into query. First value is blank because MySQL will automatically insert this value for us. We need to insert the session ID to identify the user that the cart belongs to. And we also need the product ID of the product that was clicked on. And we need the quantity of products to be added. And then we need to run the query. Then we're going to set the session cart variable to say that this product is now in the cart. And finally, we need a break statement to tell the PHP interpreter that our case code is now finished. Now we need to check if a product can be added to the cart table. We'll click the Add to Cart button from one of the products on the menu page, and we should then be able to see this product added as a new row in the cart table. Save the cart.php file, view the site and refresh the menu page. Then click on the Add to Cart button underneath one of the products. This takes us to the cart page, but we won't be able to see any results here just yet. We need to view the table in phpMyAdmin. So if we refresh the browser tab, we can see the product has been added to the table. We can go back to the menu page and test another product. Refresh phpMyAdmin and we can see this product is also added as a new row to the table. So now we can record this in our test log. And we can also add a note to explain what we're going to do next, which is displaying the added products on the cart page. In cart.php, we need to scroll down to where the table starts to display the products in the cart. Here we'll add some PHP code, which will check if items have been added to the cart. We can check if the session cart variable has been set to true. If it has, then we know there are items in the cart and we want to display them. So to do this, we need a SQL query, which will get the required product data from the database. So we need to select data from two tables here, so we'll be using select and join. We need to select product ID from the products table, along with name, description, price, and image. We need to select the quantity from the cart table and the item ID as well. We're selecting data from both the products and cart tables, which are joined by the key relationship between ID, which is the primary key in the products table, and item ID, which is the foreign key in the cart table. Both of these fields will hold the same value. Session ID is session ID of the current user, which is stored in the cart table. And then we need to run the query. So if our query runs and it returns some results, then we're going to display the data. We need to remove these two closing curly brackets, which we'll add back further down the page. So scroll down the page to where the table body tag is. We need to insert some PHP code here. This will take each row from the database, which is stored in an associative array. The first item we want to retrieve is the product name. Then we'll fetch the description text. We also need the product price. The product image. And the quantity. QTY is the same field that is in our cart table. Then we need the item ID so that we only display items that are actually in the cart. And then we want to remove this closing curly bracket from the while loop. Now we need to display the variables on the page. Start with replacing the product image with the file that's stored in the database. Then replace the product name. The product description will go here. And the price goes here. In the quantity button code, replace the hard-coded 1 with the quantity variable. This won't actually do anything yet, but we need this for later. Now we need to close all of our loops and the selection blocks. Scroll down to the end of the table row, which is marked with the closing TR tag, and insert the PHP code here. This one closes the inner while loop. This one closes the if statement. And this one will close the first if statement, which checks for the items present in the cart. We'll also include an else block. And use HTML to display a message to tell the user that the cart is empty. This will be displayed if there are no items found in the cart table. So we can now remove the second sample product data from the page because we don't need this anymore. And save the file. We need to run a test to check that the page will display the products that have been added to the current cart session. We'll add 2 products from the cart menu page, and we expect these to be displayed on the cart page. We'll add a mocker. This takes us then to the cart page, where we can see the product is displayed as being in the cart. So we can go back to the menu. We'll add an apple pie, and this also appears in the cart along with the mocker. So this test was successful, and the products were added to the cart. They were displayed on the page, and they're also in the database, and this is what we expected to happen. Next, we need to write the code so that we can update the quantity of the products in the cart.